The Nomad Sun. Chapter 1. Desert Nomad Ali. The sun rose over the vast expanse of the desert, casting a golden hue upon the seemingly endless sea of sand. Dunes stretched as far as the eye could see, their curved surfaces shaped by the relentless winds that blew across the barren landscape. In this harsh environment, a tribe of nomads had learned to adapt and survive, guided by their resourceful leader, Omar. Ali, a young and curious nomad, was Omar's son. He had inherited his father's strong will and keen mind, traits that were essential for survival in such a hostile place. The tribe's daily life revolved around finding water, tending to their camels, and seeking out the sparse vegetation that dotted the desert. They moved from one oasis to another, always searching for the resources that would allow them to persist in the unforgiving terrain. Ali admired his father greatly and aspired to be a wise and capable leader like him. Omar, a tall and sturdy man with a stern countenance, was respected by the tribe for his strategic mind and unyielding resilience in the face of adversity. As the chief of the tribe, he was responsible for the safety and well-being of his people. One day, as Ali was tending to the camels, he gazed into the distance and saw a group of birds circling above a particular area. He knew that birds often congregated near water sources, and he excitedly shared this information with his father. Omar, who had taught his son the importance of observing the natural world, praised Ali for his keen eye and thoughtful observation. As the sun began to dip below the horizon, painting the sky in vivid shades of orange and pink, the tribe gathered around the fire to share stories of their ancestors and the legends of the desert. Omar captivated the tribe with tales of courage, sacrifice, and the eternal quest for survival. Ali listened with rapt attention, his eyes filled with the glimmer of adventure and the desire to one day lead his people through the perilous sands that lay before them. Little did Ali know that his life was about to change forever, and that he would soon embark on a journey that would test the limits of his courage and determination, shaping him into the leader he was destined to become. Chapter 2. Smoke on the horizon. The sun had barely risen when Ali noticed a strange sight on the horizon. A column of smoke rose into the sky, its dark plumes contrasting sharply with the clear blue expanse. Ali felt a mixture of curiosity and concern, and he quickly sought out his father to share his discovery. Omar, recognizing the potential danger, agreed to investigate the source of the smoke with Ali. The pair mounted their camels, and with a determined gaze, they set off towards the mysterious column, leaving the safety of their tribe behind. As they approached the village, the extent of the destruction became apparent. Smoldering remains of homes lay in ruins, and the air was thick with the acrid smell of burnt wood and scorched earth. Villagers, injured and traumatized, wandered aimlessly amidst the devastation, their faces etched with pain and disbelief. Ali and Omar immediately jumped into action, offering aid and comfort to the wounded villagers. They helped extinguish the remaining fires, and provided water from their precious supplies. As they tended to the suffering people, a stranger emerged from the smoke and debris. The man introduced himself as Ahmed, his clothes singed and his face streaked with soot. He appeared exhausted, yet a flicker of determination still shone in his eyes. Ali and Omar listened intently as Ahmed began to share his story, their curiosity piqued by the stranger's presence in the ravaged village. As they listened, they could hardly believe the tale that unfolded before them. A tale of scientific marvels and dangerous ambitions that would soon embroil them in a struggle for the very future of their desert home. Chapter 3. Dr. Ahmed. As the sun dipped lower in the sky, casting long shadows across the ruined village, Ahmed revealed his incredible story. He was a brilliant scientist who had harnessed the power of the sun, creating an artificial sun in the heart of the desert. This astonishing invention formed the basis of a solar plant that generated immense amounts of energy. However, Ahmed's groundbreaking work had attracted the attention of a ruthless band of bandits, who sought to claim the solar plant for themselves. Desperate to protect his creation, Ahmed had gone into hiding in the village. But the bandits had tracked him down, laying waste to the community in their relentless pursuit. The scientist insisted that if the solar plant fell into the hands of the bandits, the consequences would be catastrophic. With such a powerful source of energy at their disposal, the bandits would be virtually unstoppable. Faced with this grave danger, Ahmed made a bold declaration: he would rather destroy the solar plant than allow it to fall into the wrong hands. Chapter 4. Journey in the Desert. Ali and Omar, moved by Ahmed's story and the plight of the villagers, agreed to accompany the scientist on his quest to reach the solar plant before the bandits did. The trio set off on their camels, venturing deep into the unforgiving desert. As they traveled, they shared stories of their lives, gradually forming a bond of trust and camaraderie. One day, as they navigated a particularly treacherous stretch of dunes, the travelers found themselves confronted by a fierce sandstorm. Visibility plummeted as the air filled with swirling sand, and the howling winds threatened to disorient even the most seasoned desert dwellers. Through their combined determination and resourcefulness, Ali, Omar, and Ahmed managed to guide their camels safely through the storm. Their shared struggle against the elements served to strengthen their resolve and deepen their understanding of one another. When the storm finally subsided, the worried travelers caught their first glimpse of the solar plant, its gleaming panels reflecting the sun's rays like a beacon in the desert. As they approached the facility, they knew that the real challenge still lay ahead: protecting Ahmed's invention from the ruthless bandits and securing the future of their desert home. Chapter 5. Solar Plant. As Ali, Omar, and Ahmed approached the solar plant, they marveled at the scale and sophistication of the facility. The rows of solar panels stretched out before them, harnessing the sun's energy and transforming it into a powerful resource. They were acutely aware of the immense potential that the solar plant held, and the danger it posed if it fell into the wrong hands. No sooner had they arrived at the plant than they were confronted by the bandits, who had been lying in wait for them. Outnumbered and outgunned, the situation seemed dire. But Ali, drawing on his resourcefulness and the wisdom imparted by his father, devised a cunning plan to outsmart the bandits. Using their intimate knowledge of the desert and the solar plant's features, Ali, Omar, and Ahmed executed a series of distractions and traps that confounded their adversaries. As the bandits stumbled through the facility, they fell prey to the trio's ingenuity, and one by one, the bandits were driven away. Chapter 6. Worry. In the aftermath of the confrontation, Omar found himself wrestling with a growing sense of unease. The solar plant's incredible power was both awe-inspiring and frightening, and he couldn't help but imagine the wealth and influence that could be his if he were to claim the facility for himself and his tribe. As he stood before the dazzling array of solar panels, the sun's rays reflecting brilliantly off their surfaces, Omar was torn between his desire to harness the plant's power and his responsibility to protect his people and the wider desert community. The temptation was strong, but he knew that with great power came great responsibility, a lesson he had always tried to teach his son. Ali, sensing his father's internal struggle, approached Omar and gently reminded him of their duty to safeguard the desert and its people. The young gnome spoke with wisdom beyond his years, urging his father to consider the consequences of their actions and the legacy they would leave behind. Together, father and son weighed the risks and rewards, ultimately choosing to put the safety of their people and their desert home above personal gain. With heavy hearts, they made the difficult decision to destroy the solar plant, ensuring that its immense power would never be misused. Chapter 7. Home. With the decision made, Ali, Omar, and Ahmed set about the task of dismantling the solar plant. The process was painstaking, as they carefully removed each solar panel and disabled the energy storage systems to prevent any potential misuse. As the sun dipped below the horizon, they watched the artificial sun flicker and fade, its light extinguished for the last time. With their mission complete, the trio began their journey back to the tribe, their hearts heavy with the weight of their actions, but uplifted by the knowledge that they had protected the desert and its inhabitants from potential harm. As they traveled, they shared stories of their adventure and the lessons they had learned about power, responsibility, and the true meaning of leadership. Upon their return, Ali and Omar recounted their experiences to the tribe, who listened in awe to the tale of the solar plant, the bandits, and the difficult choices they had made. The tribe celebrated their courage and wisdom, proud to be led by such selfless and compassionate individuals. As the tribe gathered around the fire, their faces illuminated by the dancing flames. Ollie gazed into the night sky, where stars speckled the inky blackness, like tiny pinpricks of light. In that moment, he realized that the true power of the desert lay not in the artificial sun they had left behind, but in the resilience, resourcefulness, and unity of the people who called this harsh and unforgiving landscape their home. With a renewed sense of purpose, and a deeper understanding of his role as a future leader, Ollie vowed to dedicate his life to the protection and prosperity of his tribe and the desert that had shaped him. As the fire burned late into the night, the tribe united in their determination to face the challenges of the future together, guided by the wisdom and courage of those who had come before them. The Secrets of Willow Manor. Chapter 1. The Arrival. As the sun set over the small town of Westwood, Sarah Thompson arrived at her family's ancestral estate, Willow Manor. The Victorian mansion stood tall and imposing, with ivy creeping up its walls, and a sense of mystery lingering in the air. The last time Sarah had been here was when she was just a child, but now, following her grandmother's passing, she had inherited the property. Upon entering the manor, Sarah felt a sudden wave of nostalgia. The creaking floorboards and the scent of old wood took her back to the long summers spent with her beloved grandmother. Yet, she couldn't shake the feeling that there were secrets hidden within these walls, secrets her grandmother had never shared with her. Over the next few days, Sarah began to explore the house and its many rooms. She discovered a dusty library filled with ancient tomes, an old study with intricate paintings of ancestors she had never met, and a hidden door in the drawing room, which led to a mysterious, cobweb-infested cellar. As Sarah delved deeper into the history of the manor, she uncovered a journal, written by her great-great-grandfather, Thomas Thompson. The journal's pages were filled with cryptic messages and peculiar drawings, hinting at an enigmatic past. This piqued Sarah's curiosity, and she became increasingly determined to unravel the hidden truth behind her family's history. One evening, while reading through Thomas's journal in the dimly lit study, Sarah stumbled upon a passage that mentioned a concealed room. The passage read, "I have hidden the key to the past in the heart of the house. Only those who know where to look shall find it." Intrigued, Sarah decided to follow the clues provided in the journal. Over the course of several days, Sarah searched the manor for the hidden room. She examined every nook and cranny, moved every piece of furniture, and tapped on every wall, hoping to find a secret passage. As the sun was setting on the fifth day, Sarah's persistence finally paid off. While investigating the grand staircase, she noticed a loose stone in the wall. Carefully, she pushed the stone, and a hidden door creaked open, revealing a narrow passageway. Heart pounding with excitement, Sarah grabbed a flashlight and ventured into the secret passage. The narrow corridor was lined with old, faded tapestries depicting scenes from her family's past. At the end of the corridor, she discovered a small, hidden chamber, dimly lit by a single, flickering candle. In the center of the room stood an ornate wooden box, adorned with intricate carvings, and a golden lock. As Sarah reached for the box, she felt the air grow colder, and a shiver run down her spine. She knew that whatever secrets were hidden within this box would change her life forever. But she couldn't resist the temptation to uncover the truth. With a deep breath, she inserted the key she had found earlier in the library, turned it, and opened the box. Chapter 2: The Unveiling. Upon opening the box, Sarah found an assortment of items, each holding a clue to her family's past. Among them was a collection of old letters, a tarnished locket, and a tattered map of the manor's grounds. Intrigued, she decided to investigate further. Sarah first examined the letters, noticing they were addressed to her great-great-grandfather, Thomas. The letters revealed a long-standing feud between the Thompsons and a rival family, the Bishops. This rivalry, it seemed, was rooted in a dispute over the manor's ownership. Next, Sarah studied the locket, gently prying it open. Inside, she discovered a small, faded portrait of a beautiful, mysterious woman. She felt an inexplicable connection to the woman, her heart aching with the weight of forgotten memories. Unable to resist the allure of the tattered map, Sarah spread it out on the chamber's dusty floor. She traced her finger along the faded lines, noticing an area marked with an X. The map led her to a hidden garden deep within the manor's grounds, long overgrown and forgotten. Armed with her newfound knowledge, and driven by curiosity, Sarah ventured out to the hidden garden the following day. The sunlight filtered through the trees, casting dappled shadows on the wild, untamed foliage. The garden's beauty was breathtaking, a secret oasis untouched by time. As she explored, Sarah came upon an ancient stone well, partially hidden by vines and overgrowth. Remembering the map, she approached the well, her heart pounding with anticipation. Peering into the darkness, she noticed a small, rusted key, just within reach. Sarah retrieved the key, feeling a surge of excitement. In that moment, she understood that the key would unlock further secrets of her family's past. She wondered what lay ahead, what truths she would uncover, and how her life would change forever. With the rusted key in hand, Sarah returned to Willow Manor, her determination unwavering. The secrets she had already uncovered were just the beginning. The hidden history of her family, shrouded in mystery, was waiting to be unraveled. Chapter 3: The Well's Secret. Sarah studied the rusted key, examining its intricate engravings, searching for a corresponding lock within the manor. As she wandered through the house, she couldn't help but feel its secrets whispering to her, urging her to uncover the truth. In the library, she found a book with a curious title, The Lost Artifacts of Willow Manor. With bated breath, she opened the book, revealing an illustration of the rusted key she held. The text provided a cryptic clue: the heart of the feud lies beneath the floor. Drawn to the cellar, Sarah carefully descended the creaky wooden steps, her flashlight illuminating the dark, damp space. Cobwebs clung to the ceiling, and the air was thick with the scent of mold and earth. The atmosphere felt heavy, suffused with long-hidden secrets. As Sarah examined the cellar's dirt floor, she noticed a section that appeared slightly uneven. Her heart raced with excitement as she began to dig, her hands gripping the rusted key tightly. She felt an indescribable connection to her ancestors, a bond transcending time. After hours of labor, Sarah uncovered a hidden trapdoor, its metal ring tarnished with age. With great effort, she lifted the door, revealing a narrow tunnel leading deeper underground. Her flashlight cast eerie shadows on the tunnel's stone walls, beckoning her further into the darkness. The tunnel led Sarah to a hidden chamber, its walls lined with shelves containing ancient artifacts. She felt an overwhelming sense of awe, knowing that these relics held the key to understanding her family's enigmatic past. The air was heavy with anticipation and untold stories. At the chamber's center stood a stone pedestal, a small indentation matching the shape of the rusted key. Sarah placed the key in the indentation, and the room trembled, revealing another hidden door. Stepping through, she discovered a room filled with priceless treasures, and a shocking revelation. As Sarah gazed upon the dazzling artifacts, she realized that her family's feud with the bishops was rooted in more than just a property dispute. The treasures before her were a testament to her family's legacy, a legacy of intrigue, adventure, and the pursuit of the extraordinary. Chapter 4: The Legacy Uncovered. Overwhelmed by her discoveries, Sarah knew she had to learn more about her family's mysterious past. She returned to the library, diving into historical records and ancestral journals, searching for clues that would shed light on the origins of the hidden treasures. Sarah soon uncovered a tale of adventure, intrigue, and betrayal that spanned generations. Her ancestors, led by Thomas Thompson, had been treasure hunters, their exploits shrouded in secrecy. The Thompsons and the Bishops had once been partners, united by their passion for unearthing ancient relics. However, their partnership had crumbled when Thomas discovered a rare artifact of unimaginable value. The bishops, blinded by greed, had attempted to steal the artifact, igniting the bitter feud that would define their families for generations to come. As Sarah delved deeper into her family's history, she learned that the artifact was said to possess incredible power. Believing the power too dangerous to fall into the wrong hands, Thomas had hidden the artifact within Willow Manor, ensuring its protection for centuries. Armed with this knowledge, Sarah realized that the hidden chamber beneath the cellar was just the beginning. She became determined to find the artifact and uncover the truth behind its power. She knew that her family's legacy depended on her ability to solve the mystery. Following clues left behind by her ancestors, Sarah embarked on a journey that took her to the far corners of the manor's grounds. Each step she took brought her closer to the truth, weaving her story with that of her ancestors in a tapestry of intrigue and destiny. Eventually, her search led her to a secluded corner of the hidden garden, where she discovered a stone plinth with an inscription that read, "Here lies the key to the past and the power to shape the future." A sense of awe washed over her, knowing the artifact was near. Sarah carefully excavated the area around the plinth, unearthing a small, ornate chest. Her hands trembled as she opened it, revealing the legendary artifact. As she held it in her hands, she felt a surge of energy, understanding the incredible responsibility that now rested on her shoulders. Chapter 5: The Guardian's Choice. As Sarah held the powerful artifact, she understood the gravity of her newfound responsibility. She knew that, like her ancestors before her, she must protect the artifact from those who sought its power for selfish gain. The Thompson legacy now rested in her hands. Sarah pondered her next move, knowing she couldn't keep the artifact hidden forever. The bishops, if they learned of its existence, would stop at nothing to claim it for themselves. She needed a plan, a way to safeguard the artifact, and preserve her family's legacy. In the library, Sarah discovered an ancient tome containing information about secret societies that had once protected artifacts of great power. Among them, she found a group called the Order of the Guardians, whose purpose aligned with her own to protect powerful relics from misuse. With newfound determination, Sarah decided to seek out the Order of the Guardians. If they still existed, she hoped they would help her protect the artifact and preserve her family's legacy. She began to research the Order's history, uncovering clues to their modern-day whereabouts. Following a trail of hidden messages and arcane symbols, Sarah's search led her to a remote monastery in the heart of the mountains. There, she met the Order's remaining members, a secretive group dedicated to the protection of ancient relics and the pursuit of wisdom. Sarah presented the artifact to the Order, sharing her family's story and expressing her desire to protect the powerful relic. The Guardians, impressed by her determination and noble intentions, welcomed her into their ranks and vowed to help her safeguard the artifact from those who would misuse it. Together with the Order, Sarah devised a plan to ensure the artifact's safety. They created a series of hidden chambers throughout Willow Manor, each containing a decoy artifact to confuse any would-be thieves. The true artifact was hidden in a place known only to Sarah and the Guardians. With the artifact secured and her family's legacy preserved, Sarah felt a sense of accomplishment and peace. She knew that her journey was far from over, but she had taken the first steps toward a new life, one filled with adventure, purpose, and the pursuit of wisdom. As the sun set over Willow Manor, Sarah stood in the hidden garden, reflecting on her incredible journey. She knew that she had made her ancestors proud, and that their legacy would live on through her. With the Guardians by her side, she was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The Veiled Dinner. Chapter 1. On a curious scene, the foggy, dark evening shrouded the grand mansion. As I stepped inside, my footsteps echoed through the lavish halls, and an air of mystery lingered. Drawn to the dining room, I found a family seated at the table, partaking in a luxurious dinner. To the left sat grandmother and mother, and to the right, grandson, grandfather, and father. I stood in the middle, dressed in a suit, attentively observing the scene before me. Strangely, I couldn't see their faces, only their silhouettes against the flickering candlelight. The entire scene appeared surreal, like an intricate puzzle I was compelled to solve. Despite the lively atmosphere, I felt a peculiar detachment, as though I were an outsider looking in. My detective instincts sharpened, and I scrutinized every detail. The clinking of silverware and the rustle of fabric, as they reached for dishes, filled the air. The aroma of the sumptuous meal wafted around me, yet I wasn't partaking. I focused on their mannerisms, the way they interacted, searching for any hint that could explain the nagging feeling that something wasn't quite right. I noticed how the candles flickered, casting ever-changing shadows on the walls. The intricate patterns of the tablecloth seemed to tell a story of their own. I paid close attention to the grandfather clock in the corner, its steady ticking a metronome to my thoughts. My mind catalogued every detail, sifting through the information and searching for meaning. As the evening wore on, I found myself drawn further into the scene, each observation spurring new questions. Why was I standing apart from the others? What had brought us all here, gathered around this table on such a dark and foggy night? The answers eluded me. But I couldn't shake the feeling that the key to understanding this enigmatic gathering lay hidden within these very walls. As the dinner drew to a close and the plates were cleared away, I knew that I had only just begun to unravel the mystery that lay before me. I took a deep breath, steeling myself for the journey ahead. With each new clue and revelation, they would delve deeper into the heart of the secret that surrounded my family and this grand mansion. Chapter 2. A closer look. As I observed the family around the table, I focused on the details that others might overlook. A misplaced fork, a spilled glass of wine, or the way someone reached for a dish. Every nuance held the potential to reveal a hidden truth. I noticed a subtle tension between the family members, their laughter forced, and their smiles strained. They exchanged furtive glances, each harboring secrets they wished to keep hidden. I knew these secrets were the key to understanding the darkness that lurked beneath the surface of this seemingly ordinary dinner. My gaze fell upon the centerpiece, a beautiful arrangement of flowers that caught my attention. The petals were slightly wilted, as if they had been left in the vase for longer than intended. This seemingly insignificant detail hinted at a disruption in the family's routine. As the main course was served, I couldn't help but notice the way the grandfather's hand shook as he carved the roast. A bead of sweat rolled down his forehead, indicating a hidden strain or unease. Was it merely age catching up to him, or was there something more sinister at play? The conversation at the table continued, but I paid more attention to the body language and subtle cues of each family member. My observations led me to believe that there were underlying tensions and hidden motives among them, laying the groundwork for the tragic events to come. Chapter 3: Clues Amidst the Darkness. Sean knelt by the ornate table, his eyes scanning the silverware and half-empty glasses, searching for clues. He noticed an unusual pattern on one of the plates, a red smudge that seemed out of place. He picked up the plate, analyzing it further, and realized that it was blood. A flashback to the night of the dinner unfolded in his mind. In the past, the family sat around the table, chatting and laughing. The atmosphere was vibrant and warm. Sean imagined the mother and grandmother discussing the latest gossip, while the father and grandfather shared memories of their past adventures. The grandson, still a child, eagerly listened to the stories, wide-eyed and captivated. As the flashback continued, Sean noticed that the tension in the room grew. He imagined the family members becoming quieter, their expressions turning from delight to unease. He could see the mother frowning at the father, whispering something to him, which seemed to aggravate the situation further. Back at the crime scene, Sean continued his investigation, noting the blood on the plate, and examining the other pieces of evidence. He found a letter, hidden under the grandfather's seat, crumpled and stained with wine. He carefully unfolded it, and began to read. In his imagination, he saw the grandfather standing up abruptly, holding the letter with trembling hands. He announced the contents to the family, a threatening message from an unknown person, demanding a large sum of money. The revelation shook the family, their faces filled with fear and shock. As the scene in Sean's mind unfolded, the family argued over what to do about the threat. Accusations were thrown, and old grudges resurfaced. The father and grandfather's voices grew louder, echoing through the grand dining room, while the mother and grandmother tried to calm them down. The child sat there, terrified by the escalating tension. Sean looked around the present-day crime scene, trying to piece together what happened next. He found a knife with dried blood on the blade, hidden under the tablecloth. This must be the murder weapon, he thought. In his mind, Sean saw the father lunge at the grandfather, the knife glinting in the candlelight. Chaos ensued as the family members screamed and tried to intervene. But it was too late. The grandfather collapsed onto the floor, blood pooling around him. As Sean pieced together the events of the night, he realized that this single act of violence had set off a chain reaction that would ultimately lead to the demise of the entire family. He was determined to find out who was behind the threat, and why it had driven them to such desperate measures. Chapter 4: A Fractured Family. Back in the present, Sean focused on the next piece of evidence, a torn photograph lying near the mother's lifeless body. It depicted a man, unfamiliar to Sean, standing next to the father. The two men were laughing, arms wrapped around each other's shoulders. Sean wondered who this stranger was and why the picture was torn. In his mind's eye, Sean revisited the night of the dinner. The family's heated arguments had subsided momentarily, as they tried to process the horrific scene before them. The mother, tears streaming down her face, picked up the photograph and accused the father of betraying the family. She revealed that the stranger was the father's illegitimate son, born from a secret affair. The atmosphere in the room grew even more tense as the family members reacted to this revelation. The grandmother, heartbroken, turned her back on her son, while the father desperately tried to explain himself. The mother and the grandson stared at the father with a mix of anger and disappointment. Sean continued to explore the crime scene, finding a small, gold locket on the floor. He opened it, revealing a picture of the mysterious man from the photograph. Inscribed on the inside of the locket were the words, "To my dearest son." This discovery confirmed the connection between the father and the illegitimate son. In Sean's imagination, the family's anger at his father came to a boil. The mother shook her hands and accused the father of causing danger to her family because of her secret work. Embraced with guilt and frustration, the father picked up a knife from his lifeless grandfather's body and rushed toward his mother. Her grandmother intervened desperately to protect her, but in the process, both her grandmother and father were fatally wounded with knives. As the violence spiraled out of control, the father turned on the mother, while the grandson, horrified, ran and hid in a nearby closet. The once happy family was now torn apart by betrayal, secrets, and murder. Sean felt a deep sadness as he imagined the tragic end to the family's story. Determined to solve the mystery and bring justice to the victims, he pressed on, searching for the final clues that would uncover the identity of the person behind the threatening letter and the motive for the brutal murders. Chapter 5: The Veiled Truth. Sean took a deep breath as he pieced together the tragic puzzle of the family's demise. It was now clear that the threatening letter had set off a chain of events that led to the murders. The only piece of the puzzle that remained was the identity of the letter's author and the motive behind it. Searching for the final piece of evidence, Sean noticed a stack of documents hidden underneath a cushion on a nearby armchair. As he leafed through the papers, he discovered that they were legal documents related to the family's estate. It seemed that the father had planned to include his illegitimate son in the inheritance, which would have significantly reduced the shares for the remaining family members. Sean's mind raced as he constructed the final moments of the family's tragedy. Enraged by the revelation of the father's betrayal and the financial consequences, the mother had written the threatening letter, hoping to scare the illegitimate son away. But the plan had backfired, and instead, the letter had triggered a series of violent confrontations that ultimately led to the family's demise. In his imagination, Sean saw the mother lying in a corner of a restaurant. The grandson came out of his hiding place, trembling and terrified, unable to understand the carnage around him. The father, weakened by the wound, tried to crawl toward his wife, but gave in to the injury before reaching her. As the scene played out in his mind, Sean felt a sense of closure. The family's story was a tragic one, but he had managed to unravel the mystery and uncover the truth. He carefully documented his findings and contacted his superiors to report his conclusions. In the days that followed, the news of the solved murder case spread throughout the town. The story of the family's downfall, born from betrayal, greed, and misguided attempts at revenge, served as a grim reminder of the destructive power of secrets and lies. As Sean reflected on the case, he couldn't help but feel a pang of sympathy for the family. Their lives had been irreparably shattered by the discovery of a single secret, and in the end, no one had emerged unscathed. The veiled dinner would forever haunt him, as a testament to the darkness that can lurk within even the most seemingly perfect families. But for now, he would put the case of the veiled dinner behind him, storing away the memories and lessons learned as he moved on to the next mystery that awaited him. Guardians of Thicketwood. Chapter 1. The village on the edge. In the quaint village of Greenhaven, nestled on the edge of the vast and verdant Thicketwood forest, 12-year-old Ethan lived with his caring grandmother. His parents had passed away when he was just a baby, and his grandmother had taken him in, raising him with love and kindness. Greenhaven was a small village, where everyone knew each other, and life was simple. The villagers were farmers, craftsmen, and traders, living in harmony with the surrounding nature. Ethan's grandmother, a wise and gentle woman, often told him stories of the magical creatures that were said to dwell within the depths of the forest. She spoke of ancient spirits, talking animals, and enchanted beings that roamed the woods, protecting the balance of life. Ethan's imagination was fueled by these tales, and his curiosity grew with each passing day. Being a curious and adventurous young boy, Ethan spent most of his free time exploring the woods. He would venture deep into the forest, wandering along the twisting trails, and discovering hidden nooks and crannies. The villagers often warned him not to stray too far, as they believed that the forest could be dangerous and unpredictable. However, Ethan was never afraid. He felt a deep connection to the woods, and believed in the magic his grandmother had spoken of. One fateful day, Ethan decided to venture further into the forest than ever before. He packed a small bag with food, water, and a compass, and set off on his journey. As he walked deeper into the woods, he noticed that the sunlight filtering through the leaves seemed to have an otherworldly quality. The air was thick with the scent of wild flowers and damp earth, and the sounds of birdsong and rustling leaves filled his ears. As Ethan wandered further, he stumbled upon a hidden path, barely noticeable beneath the dense foliage. Intrigued, he decided to follow it, wondering where it might lead. The path twisted and turned, leading him deeper into the heart of the forest. Eventually, he came upon a breathtaking glade illuminated by ethereal light. The clearing was like nothing he had ever seen before, with vibrant wildflowers carpeting the ground, and a small, crystal-clear pond at its center. In the heart of this enchanted sanctuary, Ethan encountered a family of majestic white deer. The sight of these magnificent creatures took his breath away, and he knew he had found something extraordinary. The white deer stood calmly, their large, intelligent eyes observing him without fear. Ethan sensed a deep wisdom within these creatures, and he felt an inexplicable connection to them. As he cautiously approached the deer, he noticed that they seemed to welcome his presence. The largest and most impressive of them, a magnificent stag with a crown of towering antlers, stepped forward. Ethan could tell that this was the leader of the white deer family, and he felt a deep sense of awe in the stag's presence. Little did Ethan know that this chance encounter would mark the beginning of an incredible adventure. One that would test his courage, strengthen his friendships, and change the course of his life forever. As he stood in the enchanted glade, surrounded by the magical white deer, he felt a powerful connection to the forest, and the magic that dwelled within it. This connection would guide him on his journey, and help him discover the true power of friendship, courage, and the indomitable spirit of nature. Chapter 2: The Guardians of the Forest. Over the following weeks, Ethan visited the enchanted glade as often as he could, spending time with the white deer family and learning more about them. The magnificent stag introduced himself as Artemis, the leader and protector of the white deer. The other deer, though not as grand as Artemis, were just as captivating and wise. Ethan soon discovered that they could communicate with him, not through words, but through feelings and images that they shared with him in his mind. Artemis revealed to Ethan that the white deer were the guardians of Thicketwood Forest. Their purpose was to maintain the delicate balance of life within the forest, and protect the many magical creatures that called it home. Over the years, the white deer had developed a deep understanding of the forest's secrets. The cycles of nature, and the intricate web of connections that bound all living things together. As Ethan spent more time with the white deer, he began to form a strong bond with them. He felt a great sense of belonging and purpose, knowing that he had a role to play in protecting the enchanted glade and the magical creatures that lived within the forest. With each visit, he learned more about the forest's mysteries and its inhabitants, from the tiniest insects to the most ancient trees. One day, while Ethan was visiting the white deer in the glade, he noticed an ominous shadow on the edge of the clearing. The white deer seemed to sense the darkness as well, and they became tense and alert. As the shadow crept closer, it revealed itself to be a sinister sorcerer named Mordecai. He was a tall, gaunt man with piercing eyes, and a dark, twisted aura that seemed to cling to him like a shadow. Mordecai's presence sent a shiver down Ethan's spine, and he instinctively knew that this man posed a grave danger to the white deer and the forest itself. The sorcerer stepped into the glade, his eyes locked onto the white deer with a predatory hunger. In a cold, calculating voice, Mordecai revealed his intentions to capture the white deer and harness their powers for his own dark purposes. He believed that by consuming their essence, he could gain the power to control the forest and bend its magic to his will. Artemis, sensing the danger Mordecai posed, called upon the power of the enchanted glade to drive the sorcerer away. A surge of energy pulsed through the clearing, and the ground shook with the force of the white deer's magic. The plants and trees around Mordecai seemed to come to life, their branches and vines wrapping around him, constricting him, and forcing him to retreat. Though the white deer had succeeded in driving Mordecai away, they knew it was only a temporary victory. The sorcerer's determination to capture the white deer and exploit their power was clear, and it was only a matter of time before he returned. In that moment, Artemis made a decision that would forever change the course of Ethan's life. He chose the young boy to embark on a perilous quest to save the white deer, family, and the enchanted glade from Mordecai's dark designs. Chapter 3. The quest begins expanded. Artemis explained to Ethan that, in order to protect the white deer family and the enchanted glade from Mordecai's dark ambitions, they would need to recover a long-lost artifact known as the Heart of Thicketwood. This powerful relic held the essence of the forest's magic and could amplify the white deer's powers, making them strong enough to permanently ward off Mordecai. Ethan felt a mixture of excitement and fear at the thought of embarking on such an important quest. He knew that it would be dangerous, and that he would face many challenges along the way. But he also felt a strong sense of responsibility to protect the white deer and the forest they called home. Artemis assured Ethan that he would not face this journey alone. The white deer would be with him in spirit, guiding him and lending him their strength. Before setting out on his quest, Ethan returned to Greenhaven to gather supplies and say goodbye to his grandmother. He told her about the white deer, the enchanted glade, and the quest he had been entrusted with. His grandmother listened with a mix of concern and pride, and she gave him her blessing, along with a treasured family heirloom. A small, intricately carved wooden pendant that had belonged to his parents. As Ethan prepared to leave the village, a young girl named Willow approached him. She had overheard his conversation with his grandmother, and was intrigued by his story. Willow had a mysterious connection to the forest, and she was able to communicate with the animals that lived within it. Sensing that she could be a valuable ally, Ethan asked her to join him on his quest, and she agreed. Together, Ethan and Willow ventured into the depths of Thicketwood Forest, following the clues and guidance provided by the white deer. As they traveled, they encountered a variety of magical creatures, some friendly and some hostile. they met a wise old owl who shared riddles and ancient knowledge. A playful band of sprites that tested their wit and agility, and a fearsome pack of shadow wolves that stalked them through the darkness. Through each encounter, Ethan and Willow relied on their courage, resourcefulness, and the bond they shared with the white deer and the forest itself. Their connection to the magic of Thicketwood grew stronger with each passing day, and they began to discover hidden talents and abilities they never knew they possessed. They learned to harness the power of the forest's elements, manipulate the growth of plants, and even communicate with the trees themselves. As they continued their journey, they discovered that the heart of Thicketwood was hidden deep within the most ancient and sacred part of the forest, a place known as the Elder Grove. To reach the relic, they would have to navigate a treacherous labyrinth of ancient trees, overcome a series of formidable guardians, and unlock the secrets of the forest's magic. Ethan and Willow pressed onward, determined to fulfill their quest and protect the enchanted glade, the white deer family, and the magical creatures that called Thicketwood Forest home. The challenges they faced would test their strength, their courage, and the bond they shared with each other and the natural world. But with each step closer to the heart of Thicketwood, they grew more confident in their abilities and their resolve to save the forest from Mordecai's dark grasp. Chapter 4: The Elder Grove. After many days of travel, Ethan and Willow finally reached the entrance to the Elder Grove. The ancient trees that surrounded them stood tall and imposing, their gnarled branches reaching skyward like the arms of ancient guardians. The air within the grove was thick with the scent of age-old wisdom and untamed magic. As they cautiously ventured into the heart of the grove, Ethan and Willow felt the immense power that pulsed through the forest, resonating with the energy of the white deer and the heart of Thicketwood itself. The deeper they traveled, the more they realized that the Elder Grove was a living labyrinth, its paths shifting and changing as the ancient trees responded to their presence. To navigate this ever-changing maze, Ethan and Willow relied on their connection to the white deer and their newfound abilities. They communicated with the ancient trees, coaxing them to reveal hidden paths, and guiding them through the twisting, turning passages of the grove. As they made their way through the labyrinth, they encountered a series of challenges designed to test their worthiness to retrieve the heart of Thicketwood. They faced off against a ferocious, enchanted bear that could control the earth itself, outwitted a cunning trickster fox with the power of illusion, and resisted the mesmerizing song of a siren that threatened to lure them off their path and into eternal slumber. Through each challenge, Ethan and Willow drew upon their courage, resourcefulness, and the bond they shared with the white deer and the forest itself. They learned to trust in their own abilities and the magic that flowed through them, growing stronger and more confident with each victory. Finally, after overcoming the many trials of the Elder Grove, Ethan and Willow arrived at the heart of the labyrinth, where the heart of Thicketwood awaited them. The relic was a stunning, iridescent gemstone, pulsing with the power and essence of the forest itself. As they reached for the artifact, they knew that their journey was far from over. The greatest challenge still lay ahead of them. They had to confront Mordecai and use the power of the Heart of Thicketwood to protect the enchanted glade and the White Deer family. With the Heart of Thicketwood in their possession, Ethan and Willow left the Elder Grove, ready to face the sinister sorcerer and defend the magical forest they had come to love. As they prepared for the final battle, they knew that they would not be alone. The strength of the White Deer, the spirits of the forest, and the bond they shared with each other would guide them and give them the power they needed to triumph over darkness. Chapter 5: The Battle for Thicketwood. Armed with the Heart of Thicketwood, Ethan and Willow made their way back towards the enchanted glade, where they knew Mordecai would be waiting. As they approached the glade, they could sense the sorcerer's dark presence, his sinister energy poisoning the air and wilting the once vibrant flowers. When they finally reached the clearing, they found Mordecai standing before the White Deer, his twisted smile revealing his confidence in his impending victory. He had already captured Artemis and the White Deer family within a cage of shadowy vines, and their strength seemed to be fading under the weight of Mordecai's dark magic. Ethan and Willow knew that they had to act quickly to save their friends and the forest they loved. They stepped forward, bravely confronting Mordecai and brandishing the Heart of Thicketwood. The sorcerer's eyes widened in surprise, and a flicker of fear crossed his face as he realized that the two young heroes had succeeded in their quest. But Mordecai was not easily deterred. He unleashed a torrent of dark magic, intending to seize the Heart of Thicketwood and crush Ethan and Willow beneath his power. The young heroes stood their ground, calling upon the strength of the White Deer and the power of the forest to protect them. As the dark magic met the brilliant light of the Heart of Thicketwood, the two forces clashed in a breathtaking display of power and fury. Ethan and Willow fought valiantly, their connection to the White Deer and the forest amplifying the power of the Heart of Thicketwood. They channeled the relic's energy, creating a shield of pure, radiant light that repelled Mordecai's attacks and slowly weakened his hold on the White Deer family. As the battle raged on, Ethan and Willow knew that they could not simply defend against Mordecai's onslaught. They had to find a way to defeat him, once and for all. They called upon the spirits of the forest, asking for their aid in this desperate battle. The ancient trees, magical creatures, and elemental forces of Thicketwood answered their call, lending their strength to the young heroes. With the combined power of the Heart of Thicketwood, the White Deer, and the spirits of the forest behind them, Ethan and Willow unleashed a surge of pure, radiant energy. The brilliant light engulfed Mordecai, stripping him of his dark magic and banishing him from the enchanted glade forever. As Mordecai's dark presence vanished, the shadowy vines that held the White Deer captive withered and fell away. The enchanted glade seemed to come back to life, vibrant flowers blooming once more, and the air filling with the sweet scent of wildflowers and the songs of birds. With the sorcerer defeated, and the heart of Thicketwood restored to its rightful place, balance was once again restored to Thicketwood Forest. Ethan and Willow had succeeded in their quest, and their bravery, determination, and the unbreakable bond they shared with the white deer and the forest had saved the enchanted glade and its magical inhabitants from the darkness. As they stood among the white deer, their hearts filled with joy and gratitude, Ethan and Willow knew that their adventures in Thicketwood Forest had forever changed them. They had discovered the power within themselves, the magic of the natural world, and the unbreakable bonds of friendship and courage that could overcome even the darkest of challenges. And though their journey had come to an end, they knew that their connection to the enchanted glade and the white deer family would last a lifetime. Chapter 6: A New Beginning. With Mordecai banished and the heart of Thicketwood returned to its rightful place, peace and harmony had been restored to Thicketwood Forest. Ethan and Willow had proven themselves as true protectors of the enchanted glade and the magical creatures that inhabited it. The white deer family, now safe from the sorcerer's clutches, expressed their deep gratitude to the two young heroes. In the days that followed, word of their heroic deeds spread throughout the forest, and magical beings from all corners came to offer their thanks and praise. The enchanted glade became a hub of celebration, as the creatures of Thicketwood reveled in the victory over darkness and the newfound unity that bound them all together. Ethan and Willow, now recognized as guardians of the forest, continued to deepen their connection to the magic of Thicketwood and the wisdom of the white deer. They spent their days exploring the mysteries of the forest, learning from the ancient trees, and protecting the enchanted glade from any threats that might arise. In time, their friendship with the white deer family evolved into a profound bond, transcending mere companionship and becoming an unbreakable spiritual connection. The white deer, in turn, shared their ancient knowledge and magic with Ethan and Willow, helping them grow and develop their own unique powers. As the years passed, Ethan and Willow took on the mantle of protectors of Thicketwood Forest, ensuring that the enchanted glade and its magical inhabitants would remain safe and thrive. They became a symbol of hope and unity for the creatures of the forest, embodying the power of friendship and the strength that can be found in the harmony between nature and its guardians. Meanwhile, the people of Greenhaven, aware of the magical wonders that existed just beyond their village, grew to appreciate and respect the natural world that surrounded them. The stories of Ethan and Willow's adventures became the stuff of legend, inspiring the villagers to embrace the magic and beauty of Thicketwood Forest, and to live in harmony with the land and its inhabitants. As for Ethan and Willow, their lives were forever changed by their experiences in the enchanted glade and their bond with the white deer family. They had discovered a world of magic, wonder, and adventure that they would continue to explore and protect for the rest of their days. In the end, the story of Ethan, Willow, and the White Deer family became a tale of love, friendship, and the unbreakable connection between all living things. Their journey was a testament to the power of unity and the importance of protecting the beauty and magic that exists in the natural world. And though their adventures would take them to many new and exciting places, they would always carry with them the lessons they had learned and the memories of their time in the enchanted glade of Thicketwood Forest.